It's like people, I can't.
But people don't read email. People don't read stuff. They just expect a certain thing.
They don't read a thing.
And I was just like.
They don't read a thing. You're like.
Because I was like, well, 5 other people didn't call and everything was
right.
fine. Like, what are you getting that they're not getting?
Right, and it's like, I need to go to my email? What? She was reading me every email she had, like,
oh, God.
I'm like, what?
That's why I thought it was I was like, please. But I was like, my mother wouldn't have called. She wouldn't have had the sense to call. She would have just called me. Oh, I can't get in.
Yeah.
But she's with
I did everything. I gave a donation, I think. I'm like, okay. Got it. There we go. There we go. We're live. Hi, people.
I know, because you don't want the people on Zoom thinking, well, where is it?
It's live.
Oh.
You want to say hi?
Mm-mm.
Why don't you say hi?
Since we're having a talk back, that's it.
I don't know why you do that. I don't know why you did that. I wanted to do that.
You ready for me to open the house?
Yeah, music too.
We're going to open the house?
Thank you. Thank you. We all just had a collective sigh.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the phone.
True story.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, the old me used to love a Gemini. Like a threesome, messing with them every night. A lot of two-faced people show me both sides. So I figured out I gotta be my own type. They used to say to get a man, you had to know how to look. They used to say to keep a man, you had to know how to look. But I'm solo, it's almost cool. So do the matter. I be myself, kinda out of touch. I'm my own soul, baby. I know how to love, baby. I know that I'm always gonna hold it down. Yeah, I'm my own soul, baby. No, I'm never lonely. I know I'm a queen when I don't need no crown. Come back, I'm like damn, she the one. Like damn, she the one. That bitch in the mirror like yeah, I'm in love. Like yeah, I'm in love. Look up in the mirror like yeah. She never tell me to exercise. We always get extra fries, and you know the sex is fine. I gotta testify. I get flowers every Sunday. I'ma marry me one day. True love ain't something you can buy yourself. True love finally happens when you buy yourself. So if you buy yourself, then go and buy yourself another round from the bottom on the higher shelf. I know how to love, baby. I know that I'm always gonna hold it down. Yeah, I'm my own soul, baby. No, I'm never lonely. I know I'm a queen when I don't need no crown. Come back, I'm like damn, she the one. Play catch with the honey. Love is the new money. I'm chilling with the homies.
Ready to go? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Geri-Nikole. I'm the Artistic Director of Moving Arts. Thank you for joining us today for our Plays in Motion series. Plays in Motion is our deep dive into plays that we really are interested in producing into our in our season. This one's particularly exciting to us. I want to say we have this was the second in 3. We have another one coming up in November, November 17th and 18th, called Complicit by Mildred Inez Lewis. And then Mildred, right? And it's great. And then we're going to be having a holiday party event celebrating our 30th anniversary in December. I know, right? That's going to be December 3rd and 4th. It's at a big house in Pasadena. There'll be food, there'll be drink, there'll be a play throughout the house, which is super exciting. So I hope you can all join us for that. Tickets are available on the website. What else do I want to say? Oh, I want to say today we're going to be having doing a little short talk back afterwards. There's a lot in this play, a lot of wonderful in this play. And we really are interested to know what's landing on you guys. So as you watch, compare that, we're going to have a little quick thing. What else? Oh, yeah, I know, I was right on it, I know. So turn off your cell phone, put it on stun, whatever. Make it quiet as possible, right? Airplane mode, or off is good. And then one last thing I will say, all the actors, the director, the dramaturg, writer, everybody got paid for this workshop. We spent about 25 hours working on this piece with these amazing actresses, fantastic director, great writer, and then we made the tickets, a donation, a suggested donation. That was really tactical. We wanted to make sure that everybody could come. We want to keep our door open to everybody, have as big an audience as we can, share the work with as many people as we can. But I also want to say, those donations help. Those donations make all the difference in the world and make it so we can keep the art going and keep paying people and keep the artists happy. So please, there's QR codes. There's a little bucket up there. If you feel it at the end of the night, please support. All right, enough of that. All right. Only what you're here for. The best is Listen, A Black Woman is Speaking by Marlow Wyatt.
Listen, A Black Woman is Speaking by Marlow Wyatt. Setting: 3 ornate, human-sized bird cages surround a writer's desk. Time: now. Place: America.
complexity of a complexion of a black woman. So we ask, who's gonna love us? My dad asked, who's gonna love his daughters? We are black queens torn from the complexities of what your skin brings. Hated, degraded, even segregated. Am I too dark? Is my hair not the standard for beauty? Am I not exotic enough? Maybe it's the misinterpretation and miseducation of aggression for my passion. Say we're too loud, screams and shouts from the grave, my sisters are crying out. What about me? Still falls on deaf ears, so I ask, who's gonna love me? We are built with authenticity, faced with adversity, driven to resiliency, so I ask, who's gonna love me? Young black girl, you are pivotal to the world. Young black girl, you are pivotal to the world. Young black girl, you are pivotal to the world. Rise. Young black girl, you are pivotal to the world. Young black girl, you are pivotal to the world. Young black girl, you are pivotal to the world. Rise. The uplifted.
Shut up! Who the fuck she yelling at?
She's frustrated.
Too much pressure.
She's afraid.
What is she doing? She high?
She needs
So
us.
she's waiting for us.
Waiting for us to what?
To hear.
To know, to speak.
Well, then a bitch don't need to be yelling shut up if she wants us to speak. How she think we supposed to respond to that? Out here in these streets, yelling shut up, my natural response is to say, no, bitch, you shut the fuck up. And then you know what they irritate
What streets? Where are you? There are no streets. She didn't write anything about streets. Anyway, I don't think she was talking about us directly.
Look at her.
She's crying.
What's she crying for?
It's too much.
What?
This.
This what?
This world.
She a little too late to be crying about the world. Ain't no tissue for them tears. She need to suck it the fuck up. This bitch exercising now? Look, I don't care what y'all say. She on some shit. Molly, meth, something. Look, dancing in the wee hours of the night like that. What?
Really?
I'm a professional dancer. I be getting paid. I don't know what the fuck she do.
Is she gonna be okay?
I don't know.
Well, we should do something.
I know she not finna jump.
Don't say something like that.
It's only a few feet down anyway. Jumping ain't gonna help her none.
She's just resting her mind.
She's making me nervous. I need a cigarette.
Listen, she needs time.
What? So we just gonna wait? What are we doing?
We're waiting.
For how long? I'm not trying to be ass out here, up all here all day.
Then put some clothes on and come down here with us. Why are you so high up anyway?
Cause niggas can't touch me when I'm up here. And it's where I keep my personal shit.
Oh, come on, sit with us a spell. I'll make us some tea. We'll sip and chat till she's ready. Let's just hope it's sooner than later.
You smoke?
Weed. That shit you smoke will kill you. It's poison.
What's your name?
Black woman. Number one. You?
The same. Black woman 2.
What about
Just black woman number 3.
a small part in a movie?
No, like we aren't significant enough to have names.
Why? Does she have a name?
Who?
Crazy. About to jump.
I don't know.
Her name is Penelope. I heard her say it.
Penelope? Oh, that's a sweet name. What's so funny?
Crazy about to jump. That's her Indian name. Oh shit, crazy about to jump.
That's not funny.
And it's racist.
I don't give a fuck. I didn't write this. Forward your critiques to her, whatever her name is.
Weintraub. Yes, I think that's what she called herself. Penelope Weintraub. A.K.A. Penelope Weintraub. I remember saying that to somebody.
Figures. I knew it. She's a fraud. A coward hiding behind an alias. She can't give us names because she hadn't decided who she is yet.
Why I gotta be all that?
Sorry, the name thing is a big trigger for me. I was a manager with the company for almost 10 years, one of 2 black women in the department. Another department manager who was there years before me often called me by the wrong name. She would do it with a smile, so I never said anything at first. Then, I started to correct her each time. Even when she called my extension, which literally has my name on the phone screen, she would call me out my name. One day, I said, my name is any black woman. And she said,
Oh, any black woman. I'm so sorry. Of course, I know your name. And you're just going to have to call me out of my name to make us even.
No.
You can call me.
No, I said, I will call you by your name out of respect, just like I expect you to call me by my name for the same reason. No tone, no attitude, I made sure of that. I was just matter of fact.
Were you mad?
No, I was tired of being disrespected.
So what did she say?
Nothing. She just laughed, an uncomfortable laugh, and continued asking me about something work-related, glossing over the situation, never apologizing or acknowledging it really.
I bet she never called you out your name after that.
No, she never called me anything after that. She avoided me. And when she couldn't avoid me, she wouldn't say my name at all. She would just give me a generic greeting like, good morning, with no name attached to it. She did stop that fake-ass smiling, though.
Did you tell anybody?
The head of human resources was her best friend. They ate lunch together on a daily basis. And our boss, the big boss who confided in me that I was her favorite employee, called me the wrong name too. She would tell, who would I tell? And what exactly would I be telling?
That you have to come to work every day as a supervisor and be called the wrong name by another supervisor for years and the head of the company.
The big boss knew you for 10 years?
At least. Probably longer. Don't forget, I was her favorite.
That is some microaggression for your ass right there. A subtle way to assert their power and make you feel subordinate. The bitches learned it. I take classes.
Okay, you know what the real messed up part of it is? She would rather not acknowledge me at all than take the time to say my name. 10 years, a manager, and I wasn't important enough for her to learn my name.
No name, no voice.
Say my name, when no one is around you. Say, baby, I love you if you ain't running. Say my name,
I ain't kinda shady, ain't I calling baby?
My name is AKA Penelope Weintraub. I am a writer, a spoken word artist, and a storyteller. I write novels too. I've written 2 novels and some short stories and a few articles for, God, stop it. Always have to quantify it. I'm working on that with Dr. Johnson. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Okay. My name is AKA Penelope Weintraub, and I'm a writer.
This bitch a motherfucking traitor.
Oh, she's nervous, that's all.
It's just a little anxiety. She'll read through it.
I hope so. She's boring the shit out of me.
Just be quiet so she can hear herself think.
I was hired, commissioned in January to write a poem for Women's History Month. It's going to be a luncheon, a fundraiser of some sort held by the American Women for Revolutionary Change. They are a predominantly white women's group who fight for women's rights, I guess. There will be black women there too. I mean, they invited some black women's veteran group called Sister Soldiers. They honor black female veterans from every war like ever, which is pretty dope, I guess. Their theme this year is what it means to be a black woman in America. I was the chosen one, the Negro representative. I was burdened with the task of giving these women insight into black womanhood while entertaining them at the same time. I was torn, to say the least, genuinely skeptical as to why they picked me. My agent kept reminding me what a big deal this was and how many important and influential women would be at this luncheon and what that would mean for my career and, of course, the money. They offered me a huge amount of money. Huge! So I said yes. They paid me in advance. I wrote a piece that would entertain, keep it light, not offend, and make the sister soldiers proud without giving away any of our secrets. I rehearsed the beats, knew where to hold for laughs, threw in a tale about black girl magic. I was set and ready to go, and then
Breonna Taylor, a licensed EMT, was fatally shot by police serving a no-knock warrant of her Kentucky home on March 13th, 2020.
3 plainclothes officers used a ramp to open Taylor's front door and blindly opened fire into her apartment.
Asleep at the time, Taylor was shot at least 8 times by Louisville Metro Police Department and died.
all of a sudden, everything changed. I didn't know what to do. I saw myself in her. I couldn't say that speech to those women. I couldn't feed them the half-truths about what it means to be a black woman in America. I felt different, new but old at the same time. I was angry and liberated and empowered and afraid, and all of the emotions came from, I don't know where, but they spoke to me. My soul screamed out at me, and I knew I had to rewrite everything. I wanted to cancel. I spent the money already. So I'm committed. Well, not committed, as so much obligated. I have 2 days. How do I truly explain what it means to be a black woman in America? I have to tell them the truth now. For Brianna, for me, for all of us. It's dangerous, the truth. The things that have been done to black women and said to us for centuries and continue into this day are so demeaning and debasing and purposefully horrific that it is totally unbelievable that we survived it. How are we still here? We suppress it. We have to in order to survive. I have to in order to survive. It's dangerous, the truth. They don't want to hear the truth about us, from us, not even our men. No one living outside of black womanhood wants to hear the truth about us because it involves them. And they will have to accept responsibility. Be accountable. When a black woman speaks the truth to those who live outside of black womanhood, there must be fact-checking, references, receipts. Her word is simply not good enough. Who is there to validate her? No one can speak on her behalf. She must speak for herself, even when no one is listening.
It's time.
She's standing on the edge.
That's how we know.
Know what?
She's ready.
When I was 3 years old, I was molested by my next door neighbor's teenage son. Not just once, but multiple times. I don't remember how old he was, but he was big and had a lot of muscles. I remember that. And a round afro too. I remember. His name
That's us. Shut up. You can't say his name. That was decades ago.
But I want to finally tell my
Hush, I said. Don't ever say his name. Anyway, what good would it do? The damage is done.
Irrevocable. Irreparable.
Irredeemable.
Unrepairable.
Father.
binding. Okay. I don't remember his name. But he was big and tall with caramel colored skin, which must have been from his mother's side because his father was a dark-skinned man who smoked a lot. I remember that. I liked his father. Anyway, he would stand on his teenage knees so we could be the same height. Be face to face. Lip to lip. To my 3-year-old lips. My 3-year-old body. This became routine. My most vivid memory is when he took me to the bathroom. Maybe I had a potty and he took me. I don't know how I got there, but I remember I was in the hallway and he was in the bathroom. It was nice. I remember that. He took off his shirt and got on his knees and said,
"Put your arms around me.
so I did.
Touch me here."
He guided my hands to his penis. I didn't know what it was at the time. I remember it felt warm and stiff. His arms and chest were really, really warm. I remember to this day. The heat from his body, I remember that part.
Kiss me.
So I did. After it was over, I believe he would give me candy of some kind of treat. I don't remember exactly. Cliche, is it? Am I using that right? He was affectionate and kind to me. I remember feeling like he really liked me. At 3 years old, I remember how he made me feel. Like what we were doing was okay. I was obedient. Still am. I was taught to obey adults, teachers, elders. If you do, they'll like you. That's how I know he must have liked me, because I was obedient.
Don't tell anybody.
He said. So I did it.
You believe her, Franklin? What that little girl said?
Ah, hell no, baby. That boy and she talk about ain't never touched nobody. Shy as hell. Had a lisp and a stutter, I remember. Always kept his head down, kind of quiet kind. You know, grew up with them on Cleveland Avenue near the docks. He wouldn't do nothing like that. Else people would have known about it. Everybody know everything that happened on Cleveland Avenue. I promise you that.
How you know who she talking about? She didn't say no name.
Ain't got to. I put 2 and 2 together. Do some reduction reasoning. I know who she talking about. He a serviceman now out in the Navy, some say. He one of the gays, you know. That's why I know he ain't never touched no little girl like that. He, something or other's boy. What's his name?
I remember.
I don't know who you talking about, but don't remember a lot of folks living on Cleveland Ave. We were on Jefferson.
I remember.
Yes, you do. Mr. What's his face? Used to work down there on that steel company down there on 3rd Street. I forget his name. And I can't remember his name to save my life.
I remember.
Yeah, you right. Mr. Whatchamacallit. How she gonna remember remember something happened when she was 3 years old anyway. They say here, yeah.
I remember.
That's what they say. If I remember correctly, got him a man wife and everything. Never came back to the neighborhood, though. I don't think I can't remember.
I remember.
I tell you one thing, the good Lord gonna write that in her book. Sure enough, God knows the truth. And that little girl ain't telling the truth.
Amen on that.
Studies have shown that the adultification bias of black girls is real. I said the adultification bias of the black girl is real, y'all. Can I get amen?
Amen.
Woo! You see, the feeling that black girls need less protection, less nurturing, less comforting, and less support than their counterparts is evident in our treatment of the young black girls when it comes to incarceration and expulsion rates.
All right now.
Y'all getting quiet up in here? Less comfort, less protection, less nurturing, and less support. Not to mention their mental health, which no one seems to care about. Folks seem to think black girls don't need none of that. They expect us to know better and be better and punish us when those expectations aren't met. Can't make no mistakes. Can't be little girls. They gotta know better, do better, and be better. And we learn quickly, don't we, church? We learn when we were young. They got no bugs for black girls. No urgency. We learned to suck it up. So we stop crying. We stop asking for help. We stop growing emotionally. We stay in survival mode. All we do is defend our skin, our hair, our body. Y'all don't hear me this morning. And we ghetto and we not. It seems we too much for the world. Too proud, too wild, and too loud. Can I get an amen? They want our behavior to be more passive.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Stereotypes of being angry, aggressive, and over-sexualized. To us like pasties on little Cam's nipples. Black girls are held at a higher standard.
Oh, yes, we are.
Seen as threatening at our bodies. Help me, Black Jesus. Our bodies. Everybody. God herself making her image. Our constantly being politicized and violated. Our bodies are not being protected.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Our bodies are not being protected. I said our bodies are not being protected. Who cares about the black woman's body?
Nobody.
Not the white man. Not the black man. Not the government. And certainly not the police. Can I get a witness? The black body has been objectified, personified, prophetized, and vilified. Our bodies. Whose body? Help us, Jesus. Save us, Jesus. Protect us, Jesus. Our bodies. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I got next.
This feels good. Remember back in the day when I was little and we used to sit on Big Mama's porch and get our hair braided?
Oh, I remember sitting in my grandmother's kitchen early Sunday morning, and she got that pressing comb right down the edges before church.
Oh, with a ton of grease. Oh, what was it? Afro sheen.
Ultra sheen. Yeah, ultra sheen. And there was a green color and a blue color.
Oh, no. Blue magic to press your hair and ultra sheen to grease it.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to hold the jar of blue magic in one hand and my ear in the other so that it burned.
You couldn't set it on the stove or else it would melt.
Right? What about that kitchen though?
Woo, yes, the kitchen.
I bent my head down to my chest so my mama could get my kitchen. Yeah. She put a towel around my neck so I wouldn't feel the heat of the iron coming near and jump. Oh, I was a jumping child on Sundays and Easter when it came to get my hair pressed. Just thinking about this iron burning my skin was enough to make me shock.
And when they did burn you, they will put the same blue magic grease on the burn.
Yes.
But y'all too young for me to mention Paul's the bergamot. But when it came to ears, my mama used to use Crisco on my burns.
Wait, burns? How many did you have?
You only got 2 ears.
My mama had shaky hands. Hold on now. I need to comb it out. Now, I don't know why you let it get this bad in the back.
You tender-headed.
No, I keep my weave in too long.
Gosh, black women are always finding ways to make our hair look like everything else but what it is.
I wear weaves to protect my hair.
From what?
Society, judgment, less opportunity, broke ass men. Look, I shouldn't have to.
We do. We have to constantly think about our hair.
If we want to make a living.
And be supermodels or even seen as attracted by men.
Yep. They like that big booty, small waist, but want that Becky with the good hair.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know I get more tips when I wear these straight hair weaves? And the only time I do better is when it's 70s night and I wear an afro giving you Pam Grier fierceness. Other than that, that Indian hair is where the money resides. Where the money resides, where the money resides.
Our hair is political. Do you know how crazy it sounds to say that out loud? A black woman's hair is political. Always has been. Think on that for a minute. Let it land.
Oh shit, we got to get a lesson.
No, real talk. In 1786, the Ticonon laws in Louisiana required free women of color to cover their heads.
Wait, a bitch was free and still had to cover her hair?
It was intended to keep free women of color as a subordinate and inferior class.
The mulattoes were too pretty and too much competition for the white women, so they created laws to keep our crowns covered.
Mm-hmm.
But they made that shit work, though.
Hey, it's painful to remember, let alone have to hear about y'all talking about.
That's not even half of it. There are so many cases, so many stories.
Wait, you hush? Hush with all that now. I know all about it. All of it. 1976. Barely Jenkins versus Blue Cross Mutual Hospital. A black woman denied because she wore an afro. She was not fit to represent a hospital with her hair like that. 2013. Chastity Jones was hired and then the company rescinded the hire because she wore dreadlocks. That went all the way to the Supreme Court. 2018. Christ the King Elementary School in Louisiana sent a little black girl home for wearing braid extensions. This is elementary school where you go to learn your colors and your ABCs. In 2019, the Crown Act was passed in California so you could not be discriminated against for wearing your hair natural in the workplace. And only a handful of other states adopted that law. Centuries of this shit. And I say, fuck you to the Crown Act. I say, fuck you, for creating a law for me to wear my hair exactly the way God intended. I don't need your permission. Your good intentions. You have done nothing but ask those who live outside black womanhood permission to be free again. This is not a game. My hair shouldn't be on a legislative bill to be voted on. I can't anymore. I've been around a lot longer than you, and I can't. What are we supposed to tell our little black girls, huh? That her hair is illegal? The hair on her head that she did not choose and cannot do anything about as a little girl except go to school and be ridiculed by her peers and disciplined and detained by her teachers, and then when she comes home only to have her mother put chemicals in her hair that burn like hell so she can be liked, so she can be accepted, so that she can feel
Beautiful.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. My hair should not be a movement. A court, supreme or otherwise, should not have to decide whether or not my hair or my hairstyle is legal or acceptable or beautiful to anyone. There are plenty other things for my black ass to worry about.
She's right.
I know.
No other woman in America has laws or rules that literally ban their hair in its natural state. How do you expect them? How do they expect us to process that?
Preacher lady said we don't show our pain so the world don't know our pain.
It's intentional. They know.
Why do you think they hate us so much?
Because they hate themselves. And they've been trying for centuries to make us be just like them.
Well, it's working.
Such pretty hair. May I kiss you? May I kiss you? So beautiful you are.
Hello? Dr. Johnson's answering service.
Yes, is Dr. Johnson available?
This is Dr. Johnson's answering service after hours, ma'am.
I know this is her answering service, but I'm one of her patients, and I need an emergency session this morning, as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. What's your patient ID number?
I'm having an anxiety
I
attack.
understand, ma'am, but I still need your patient ID number to get you a session with Dr. Johnson as soon as possible. Would you like me to make an appointment for urgent care?
Yes. I need Dr. Johnson. My patient ID is 2283.
I see. Last name Brown.
Yes. Let her know I'm having nightmares, and I really need to have a session with Dr. Johnson, please.
I have an appointment available first thing at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Are you available?
Yes, I'm available. There is screaming. Can you hear it?
No, ma'am. Would you like me to send an emergency unit to your home?
No, I'm fine. Never mind. Just tell Dr. Johnson. Write it down about the nightmares and the screaming. I have pills. I'll be fine.
You're all set for tomorrow morning. Is there anything else I can...
Nakambuka. I remember. Nakambuka, my son. I remember when they took my son from me. Nakambuka, I remember. They took us in the darkness while the moon watched in silence rough waters to a new soil far, far away, different from my home, beholden to faces and skin different from my own. Even the sun, she was new, shining, but now her rays burned with the sting of fear and darkness. Nakambuka, my son, Nakambuka. I remember my son. They took him from my womb. They silenced my tongue so I could not scream. Buried the language that I was to pass on to him. My breast full to nourish other children, but my milk did not nourish him. No caressing, no suckling for him. I remember his spirit. I remember him. My son. My blood was his blood, the blood of royalty, but he would never grow to be a king. He would never live to rule. He never lived long enough to be free. I keep on reaching, hoping to grab him, hold him against the oak, but he was too far gone. I held him only in death, his neck and my hands bloody from the hanging twine, and I rested his dangling feet on my shoulder. I climbed the oak, but I could not save his life. Nakambuka! 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 My blood was his blood. The blood of royalty. But he would never grow to be a king. He never lived long enough to be free.
You think she gonna be okay?
Don't know.
Where did she go? That was some crazy shit. You think she was possessed? But I wasn't trying to get in the middle of that. Reminded me of my church days.
Blood memory.
Huh? Yeah, maybe. Damn. You want to hit this?
Yeah.
You think we should offer her some? Seem like she's already tripping on something.
They killed her son. They hung him. You heard her. She pulled her son down from a hanging tree. I'd be tripping too.
Yeah, but when? Like over 200 years ago? What the fuck is that shit? Strange fruit.
Pain. She'll be all right. She's strong.
Don't say that. I hate that shit. Why black women always gotta be strong? Like they put that on us so no one will help us when we really need help. We the mule of the world or some shit? Like everything put on us we strong enough to carry. That's some bullshit. Look at her. She's fucked up.
We're all a little fucked up.
A little.
You?
I'm a stripper.
Dancer. Professional dancer. I believe those were your words.
Bitch! Look, I'm a stripper. Brothers ain't running to see nobody at the professional dancer club. They're going to the strip club to see strippers.
You dance because you want to, you like it.
That's what I tell myself. I mean, I do like to dance. I'm trained. Got to travel for a dancer as a while.
And then?
You always get what you ask for, don't mean you always gonna like it. Then I ended up in a world where I had to learn to adapt.
How so?
Love.
Love? Explain.
My family is religious. That deep down south, backwoods, speaking in tongues religion. And we were not rich. Most of the money my parents made seemed to go to the church. Like they was trying to bribe God. I had a natural gift as a dancer. I used to praise dance at church. Me and my friend Trina would put on our routines together and praise dance to the last choir selection. Everybody loved us. We were anointed, the pastor would say. We were best friends. Road dogs. Lovers. It's the first time I ever said that. Lovers. We were lovers.
Were?
We were careful, never showed any signs, being typical teenagers. We got caught slipping. Got caught making out in the church basement.
No.
By my father.
Get out.
That's exactly what he said. Get out. He separated us, sent Trina home, and then beat me with the Bible quoting scripture. An elder from the church had to pull him off of me. I guess he thought he could beat the lesbian out of me. When we got home, Mama had packed my bags and kicked me out. No discussion, no notice, no money, food, no nothing. Reported me a runaway. I was just 17.
What did you do?
Roamed the streets looking for shelter. Comfort anybody who would help me. It was a small town, so the news had spread fast, and I had to leave before the police picked me up for truancy.
And Trina?
Me and Trina would find ways to be together at first. She would sneak me food. Sometimes I would sneak into her bedroom late at night, but Trina loved God. She believed. She drank the Kool-Aid. She said we couldn't be together like we were anymore. She said it was a sin, and she had loved me, but loved God more. I got a job frying chicken at the strip club the next town over. Quit school, got my GED, and started dancing when I turned 18. Trina got married and had 2 kids. She still keeps in touch every once in a while, but like I said, she loves God.
And you? Do you love God?
I love Trina. I never loved anyone since. I do my best dancing when I'm thinking about her. Anything to drown out the faces of those pitiful men I see night after night. Half of them want to fuck you and leave you in an alley somewhere and act like they don't know you. And the other half pretend they want to save you from the life, not realizing they're the ones you really need saving from. All predators to me. Like, I make them feel good, and whatever fucked up shit they do in their life ain't worse than what I do for a living. It fucks with you after a while. You gotta be numb to do this shit. I even tried therapy.
Did it work?
Not better than weed and Jack Daniels. I guess it helped a little. Like, a little. I'm still gay, I'm still dancing.
You never answered my question. Do you love God?
Yes, I love God. But I don't know if God loves me. I told you I was fucked up. I haven't snapped yet. Like her.
Or me?
You. Miss Dolce and Gabbana suit. Always carrying that briefcase like it's filled with diamonds. You a lawyer or something?
Used to be.
Used to be.
I was disbarred.
You?
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here. Why?
Unlike you, I snapped.
Snapped how? What you do? You slapped the shit out of a judge.
I wish.
So what did you do?
Try to be perfect. The best for everybody. Being a black woman in the legal profession, any profession, is hard on you emotionally. You know, they watch you, always rooting for you to fuck up. The women are competing with you and the men resent you, especially if you're good, and I was. I was a fucking amazing lawyer. I knew my shit. I knew how to use the laws to get what we needed, to manipulate them to work in our favor. There was no justice in the laws. You have to be creative, beat them at their own game. And trust me, it is a game for them. Those white boys get off on winning at any cost. They don't care about black lives, women's lives, nothing. Just winning.
If you were so good, why you get disbarred?
I killed somebody. I did my time, paid my dues to society. Now I'm free, I guess. You all right?
No, bitch. I'm not all right. I'm high as hell. Old lady was just speaking in tongues, hashing up shit that happened, what, 200 years ago? And now you telling me you killed somebody? Like it's a regular Saturday night with the girls? What the fuck? No, I am not all right. I need a moment to process this shit. You gotta tell me what happened. You can't just leave it at I killed someone and I did my time.
But I let them get to me. I let it get to me, trying to be the strong black woman they expected me to be. I did affirmations to convince myself of it every morning in order to cope before I took a case or went to the office. I guess it was too much for me. I was outnumbered. They finally broke me and I snapped.
What happened? How? When? Who?
It was one of my colleagues. I considered her a friend, a rarity for me. We did more than just work together. We went to lunch together, we hung out, we talked about things, race, politics, men. People are all the same. I truly believe that. And you should be able to feel comfortable around your friends. Say anything, but they had no idea how I had to pretend every day and what that does to your mind after a while. Your soul. It's like I was in some corporate solitary confinement trying to behave so I can be free. So we were celebrating a victory with champagne, and then
Woman number 3 transforms into a white woman who has the one black friend that in her mind exempts her from ever being labeled a Karen.
Get over here, you!
she pulled me aside. We went to the break room. She was telling me about a meeting she just had with her boss.
I want to tell you about the meeting I had with our boss. I mean, I've been meaning to get him alone for what, a week now? Oh, I mean, he has been avoiding me, and I was like, you're gonna have to face me sooner or later, and I am not taking no for an answer.
She was arguing for us, our team, to get more money, a huge bonus, which we deserve.
I argued for us to get more money. I mean, we fucking deserve it!
She was drunk. At the party, not at the meeting with the boss.
Oh, MG, I am so fucking drunk! No! Oh, I'm drunk right now. Oh, but I wasn't when I spoke with the boss. And his boss was there, huh? And I mean, like everyone was in this meeting.
She had one of the best legal minds in the firm, which is why I couldn't believe it.
I was in this meeting, right? And they were giving me pushback. I mean, I was one big vagina in a room full of little dicks. And I went into full pussy mood when deserve the bonus. And I said, you treat us like the niggas of this firm.
And bam, it was like a punch in the gut. I couldn't believe it. It was like I didn't hear what she just said.
Did you hear what I said? I said it right to their faces. You treat us like the niggas of this firm. It's like I grew a pair right before their eyes. Can you believe it?
I couldn't believe it. And what was she thinking?
You know what I was thinking. We should get out and celebrate. Just you and I, yeah. Just us girls. You and me. We work harder than the men. Fuck these niggas.
And I let her say it. And I gave her permission by standing there, silent. I mean, I was shocked. I was dumbfounded. And she acted as if nothing happened, business as usual. And I said nothing. Even days later, I said nothing. I tried to avoid her. I was traumatized. It kept eating me up inside. My heart stiffened every time I heard her voice at the water cooler, during lunch, laughing, enjoying her life as if nothing happened. And again, I said nothing. The head of the firm, all the partners allowed her to say it because there were no people of color in position of power in that room when it was said. They gave her a pass because she was one of them. They swept it under the rug, having no idea that it would get back to me, that she would be dumb enough to tell me, the black woman at the firm, what was said in the meeting. The very idea of them doing nothing made me feel helpless and hopeless and abandoned. And I did nothing. Until one night, it wore on me, gnawing at my core. I was sitting in my car and I started to drive, but it wasn't me driving. It didn't feel like me, but it was. I don't know, but I drove to her house and I was thinking about all the little things she would say, you know, like joking, always at my expense, always about my blackness, my hair, my butt, my speech not being black enough, my everything. She treated me like it was a privilege for me, the black me, to make it this far in her world, as if I grew up in some dangerous rat-infested ghetto, spending my entire life trying to make it out just to get to them. Like I should feel lucky to be among them. And I did. And for a while, I felt lucky. Like I had made it. I was happy to be accepted, I guess, and I didn't even realize it. I kept thinking and thinking about all those times she... And then I walked up to her front door and rang the doorbell, and she answered, and before she could say anything, I shot her. I don't remember where I shot her or what happened after that, but I know I shot her. I shot her for saying that word to me, for thinking that word about us, for making me feel like that word for my father and all the little black girls and boys who were ever called nigger. You know, they don't have a word like that for them. No word that burns in their soul like that. And you can never get away from it. It doesn't matter if you're kind, educated, or the President of the United States. In the back of their minds, they see you as a nigger. And my skin, to her, made me a nigger. And she felt she had the permission from me, a nigger, to use that word because we were friends. What I did was wrong. I know that, and I did my time. I lost everything. I worked my entire life for it, but I just wanted it to stop. You know, I just wanted her to be the last. I needed it to be the last time a white person referred to a black person as a nigger and didn't pay for it. I needed to stop the sound of her voice from ever saying that word again. I needed to make sure she would never be able to say that word to me or any other black person again. And I did.
Show me love, treat it like we freaking on a weekend. Show me love, I eat up the seconds, times, and reasons for your love. This is not the season for nobody else but us. I always get wrapped up in you, baby, I'm in love. We won't get this love like we
Hey, it's me. You up? Yeah, I know what time it is. I can't sleep. I miss you too. Can you come over? I need you to come. Cause I've been up all night stressing about what I'm gonna say, and I need you to help me relieve some stress. I already said I miss you. I know I don't normally like you to come over when I have a writing assignment, but I am changing my mind. I welcome the distraction. Can I change my mind? I want to wake up next to you in the morning. Tomorrow I got this speech and I don't know what to say. Negro, I'm not begging you to come over and get some. Okay, maybe I am. Come over now, please. Please, baby, please, baby, please. That is my best Mars Blackman, and I gotta have it. So get over here now. I need you. Okay. See you soon.
She tidies up, preps the bed, spraying the sheets and changing into more seductive sleep attire.
Right now, I promise you my soul I do. Right now, I just want to say at this moment in time that I want to hold you, laugh with you, see your smile, which is making me smile right now just thinking about it. Where are you? I feel your presence. I miss you.
I promise you, I want to fly with you, take care of you, and make you feel safe with me. You can count on me. Depend on me and cry with me. Tell me what makes you afraid. I won't tell. I promise.
My soul is yearning to know what your soul is like. Show me. Touch me with both your hands so I know what it feels like. Stare into my eyes. I want to see what it looks like. Kiss me so that I can know what it tastes like. Show me your soul. I have loved you for many lifetimes, so if you ever ask, the answer is yes. Always. I promise. I do.
You think he loved her?
I guess. When he came over in the middle of the night and she called to relieve her Stress.
That's lust.
She wrote that poem about him.
Oh, the poem was written before she met him.
How do you know?
Oh, been with her a lot longer than you two.
She didn't mention his name.
We all know she ain't big on names.
Well, at least she gave us bodies. He's just a shadow of a man, not a full actualized human like us.
Oh, so now we analyzing her.
That's sad.
What are you talking about?
She has no idea what love is, what it looks like. She hasn't felt it, so she can't write it. Love is her Achilles heel.
That's a messed up thing to say.
Out of all her stories, has she ever given any of us a real relationship? I mean, me and Trina was real and beautiful until I got my ass beat in the basement of a church and ended up homeless. Who writes shit like that? Where's my happy ever after?
Men and sex can be a distraction.
I had a husband in one of her stories. Good man, good provider, loyal and handsome, had 5
And what?
kids, and I cheated on him.
No.
Get out.
Yes. We were madly in love for 20 years, and for some reason, she had me cheat on her. Catch a venereal disease and die.
Damn! That bitch dark.
Oh, that's when I knew. That's when I knew.
Knew what?
She was afraid of love.
Well, maybe it's business before anything.
She created you to convince her of that. We all know it's not true. When things are going great in her relationship, she waits for the ball to drop. Or she reduces it to booty calls and casual dates. No intimacy. Nothing too deep.
She can just create someone to love her.
No, not in real life.
She has to love herself first. She can't heal what she doesn't acknowledge. Textbook. And don't give me any looks. I told you a bitch was taking classes. I know shit.
She's worried. She's worried about tomorrow. The weaker she is, the stronger we must become for her.
So you think Crazy about to jump gonna be ready?
I hope so.
She keep having nightmares.
It's the spirit of her ancestors that is stirring her soul, preparing her
For what?
to be brave.
It's time for her to speak the truth. She only writes fiction. Now she has to say something real. And I hope a bitch can pull it off.
If she doesn't, she won't survive, and neither will we. Let her rest. Her soul is stirring.
She grabs her speech and heads down the stairs to the main area and stands behind a podium resting center stage.
Hi. Hello, ladies. My name is AKA Penelope Weintraub. And first, I want to thank you for... first I want to... My name is... My birth name is... Shankita. Shankita Nefertiti Brown. The name my mother gave me. I was named after my 2 grandmothers, and I wanted to honor them today, so I want people to know their name. My name.
She gonna fuck this up.
Give her a chance. Anyway, I am here to discuss what it means to be a black woman in America. It's weird for me to say my name out loud in public after all these years. Shankita Nefertiti Brown. I never owned it. I was always ashamed. It's not like people believed I was Jewish, or maybe they thought I was adopted. If asked, I would make up some cute story, but the truth is, Penelope Weintraub was my only friend. I was 8 years old and the only black girl at a writer's camp for girls. I was so excited to be around girls who loved to write stories like me. Little did I know that no one was excited to be around me, except Penelope. They switched me to a new cottage twice because no one wanted to sleep in the same room with me. I slept with Penelope every night in a twin bed. And we laughed and combed each other's hair and wrote stories together. And it wasn't until I became an adult that I realized being a black girl feels like being in a war with no allies. We need allies. And Penelope was my only ally at that camp that lasted for 4 weeks, and she was the only reason I was able to survive. At 8 years old, I was called monkey, was told my hair was gross, a word I never heard before I looked it up. Every day seemed like a battle, but I had Penelope. When camp was over, we kept in touch. She wrote me letters, and she was my best friend, even though she lived in another state. One day I got a letter, and it wasn't her handwriting. It was from her mother. She told me that Penelope was very ill for a long time, and that she passed away. I didn't understand how someone could die at 8 years old. It didn't make sense to me. We had plans to return to camp together next summer and be roommates and write stories together. I never returned to camp again. And I grew up navigating in a world of white supremacy as a black girl who became a black woman without any allies. And through it all, I remember Penelope. When I became a writer, I changed my professional name to honor her. I changed my name in the hopes of finding another Penelope who listened to me when I told them what it was like being a black woman in America. It's not as easy as we make it look. You want to know what it's like to be a black woman in America? Then listen! When we speak, we are screaming, crying out for allies every single day. But for some reason, you won't listen to us tell you about us. Simply listening to a black woman without judgment or fear or downplaying or gaslighting is probably the most revolutionary thing all of you sitting here today can do. Do you say you are for revolutionary change? It seems your actions speak otherwise. So, having realized that I, a black woman who has barely made it out alive while traversing through the battlefield of black womanhood in America, say to you, I am done. Done! I have no knowledge to share with you. Nothing to say and nothing I want to say about my blackness, my womanhood, my pain, or my mental health. I have nothing to explain. No words to educate. No desire to clap back, school, or inform another fucking person living outside black womanhood about how to treat me as a human being. Oh shit, crazy about to jump going. No!
She found a tongue.
She doesn't need us anymore.
I will not endure another diversity dinner led by the people who have to conduct surveys in order to make an effort to include me. I am the data! I have no books to recommend or movies that will give you insight about my black woman life. But I have my experience. I won't be your 21st century mammy, cradling you to nurse on my teeth for knowledge and insight on black womanhood. I will not discuss my humanity with you. I will not participate in a debate about my civil rights, my equal rights, my inalienable rights for life, my inalienable rights to liberty, my inalienable rights to pursue happiness that you have so diligently and systematically stripped from me. And to those who have enacted laws and statutes to suppress my very being, I'm speaking to you, Senator Jones, and other politicians like you. I cannot pretend with you anymore. I cannot ignore the atrocities that you have committed against my black womanhood and refuse to acknowledge or apologize for. You have broken me into so many pieces. I do not believe I have the strength to forgive you, as I am too occupied mending my body, healing my mind, restoring my soul. The barrier of hate that you have built for me can only be brought down by the haters, not the hated. Don't ask for assistance. This is your tragedy to repair. Your filth to clean. Your nightmare to turn into a dream. I could not, for the onus is on you. I have no poetic language to comfort your fragility. I have dismantled the burden of seeking approval from your social constructs and ideals. I will not be complicit with your predatory practices, lies, and deceit. I will not accept your lack of decency and notions of supremacy. Your reign is over.
Yes.
You know it. You feel it coming. Which is why you fight so hard to maintain it. But I have no more fight in me left for you. My battle with you is already won. I am simply waiting for you to implode. I have no kind words. You don't seem to respond to those. I implore you to simply listen when a black woman speaks.
And believe her. We know what we know. No need to be afraid or mistake our words for aggression.
We are simply caged birds screaming to be heard.
Though our cries have been ignored for centuries. Doesn't matter now, because now we know. We understand that. You won't tell the truth about us in your history books.
You cannot comprehend the power of our legacy, so you demonize our looks.
We have to be headstrong in order to wear our crowns and display our melanated skins from the blackest black to the lightest brown.
But you can't see, won't see, refuse to see. Instead, you label us as angry when you know we have every right to be.
An inalienable right to be.
So let us be.
Your strain towards inclusion feels like intrusion to us.
We don't want to step on your toes or impose.
We have no desire to sit in the back or front of your bus.
Like my mama used to say, go ahead with your bad self.
Just let us be us.
Full autonomy.
Your monolithic images of us are not a reflection of who we really be.
She, her, hers, they, queens.
Even those with saintly wings. Like Breonna Taylor. That is who we are.
No hashtags. No protest signs. No murals. No headlines. Saying our name is beautiful, but not enough.
Unless you are an ally like Penelope. Don't come for us.
Move.
And let us be. Oh. What it means to be black and a woman in America. Our skin has become our shield. We are warriors by default. Lady soldiers.
Casualties of spiritual battles. constantly forming heavenly armies as you murder us while we sleep.
War crimes! We're standing our ground and protecting our souls, asking you respectfully
To move.
Or be moved. We will thrive. Mark my words. Listen. Hear what I said. You may have buried our truth, but the truth ain't dead.
The luncheon has ended.
All right.
Woo! Yes. Oh.
My speech, the poem, did not get the reception I hoped. Penelope would have loved it. She would have been sitting first row, cheering me on. There were no Penelopes at that luncheon. 2020, it changed me. No, it revealed me, gave me clear vision. You see, I was always scheduled to speak on Sunday, March 15th, 2020. But there is nothing on my calendar marking Breonna's Taylor murdered just 2 days before. My world was shook. I didn't know her, but I had to speak for her. I had to speak for me. I had to speak even though I assumed I would not be heard. The women at the luncheon were too busy eating their overpriced gluten-free meals, sipping mimosas to fully listen. Others simply walked out. I would say the moment was memorable, but not favorable for them. To me, it was just a moment. Another ordinary moment in Black womanhood, living in America under the laws and social constructs of white supremacy and misogyny. It won't be written in anyone's history book. It will just be history, forgotten. My agent called me a week later to let me know that my next 3 speaking engagements were canceled and that she was dropping me as a client. There were lots of powerful and influential women at that luncheon, and this is how they use their power and influence under the guise of revolutionary change. Nothing has changed. This was all expected. Because Black women must be dealt with. We must be handled. What better way to do that than to take away my livelihood, to show me, to put me in my place. But it is not up to me to figure out where you want my place to be in this world. I am here. You will just have to work around me. It's dangerous, the truth. I received an unexpected email from the president of the American Women for Revolutionary Change asking me, how do I expect her to justify paying me so much money for such galvanizing and divisive hate speech and insulting one of our beloved senators who has always been an advocate for Black women. I simply replied, reparations. Sincerely, Shankita Nefertiti Brown. P.S. I said what I said.
I'm Bernadette Speaks, and I directed these beautiful women. So right now I'm going to call all my beautiful actors to come back out, and I'm going to call the writer, beautiful Marlow Wyatt, to come down and join us. The one thing that kept you know good theater when you hear words a lot, especially when you're rehearsing, and it moves you still, and you're like, wow, the writing is so good. I'm still moved. I'm always moved every time I hear this. And what's wonderful is you get moved in different places. So one of the questions that I have is, what landed for you with this project? And why? And I want to open it up to my actors first, because they definitely have been on a journey with this. And then I would love to open it up for some of you if you would like to share. So any of you ladies, what landed for you with this piece?
Beauty for age, please.
It's you.
Yeah, go ahead, Juanita, please.
My lord, first of all, the hair thing, it was like she was inside my soul. I've lived this joyfully my entire life. When I've been able to wear my hair natural in a role, I would, because I think it's important for young black women to know that their hair is beautiful. So it just, I've been let go on a job when I was hired with dreadlocks. But it's okay. I don't need approval from anybody. So just this whole thing, I'm gonna be honest, it took me a moment to get into it because I just wanted to make sure that it was for the right audience. I'm more interested in talking to my young black people because I want them to love themselves. So that's it for me.
And I think on that, just the amount of joy that is in this piece alongside all the pain, and how, black people in America, no matter how much we go through, we create beauty and joy out of it. And it was just really nice to see everything right next to each other, all of our truths right next to each other.
Marlow, would you like to answer that for you, and why? What stirred in you to write the piece in the first place?
I'm part of the Playwrights Union, and we had a challenge in March or April of 2020 to write a piece, and that was right during the pandemic. We were sequestered, and Breonna Taylor, there was a lot happening with that. There was an uprising in LA, of course, so I'm watching all of this stuff on television, and I felt some kind of way. I can't really explain it. I was so deeply hurt, and so having that time to myself gave me a lot of time to reflect on my life and my, I've always been, oh, Marlow can handle it, oh, Marlow can do it, oh, you know, and I kind of carried that with pride, like, I'm okay, I don't get sick, I'm okay, I can take care of it. And all of that just came crashing down on me when I saw the Breonna Taylor and how it was dealt with. And something really did stir in me, and I was like, I am not okay. And I can't take all of this stuff, you know, that has been happening to us. And I was like, that is all inside of my soul, inside of my thighs, inside of my thing. I was like, I'm carrying a lot of weight. And I was taught to carry whatever is thrown at me. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm not happy. I need help. I'm this. And I'm like, I'm not going to apologize for the shit that's done to us. And when I started doing research and doing history and finding out about the Beverly Jenkins thing and the Tignon laws and all of that, and I was like, this has been centuries and nothing has changed because we endure it. And I'm not going to try to make people feel comfortable about my feelings. I'm not going to apologize for what I say. I've been told I was angry for saying something. I was taken off a project because I sent an email in all caps, and in all caps for me, it means that, oh, emphasize on this, emphasize. But nobody said anything to me. It was just like, you're off. And I realized later, I was like, they didn't come and talk to me, and if they would have, I would have been like, oh, I'm kind of old school, I'm not as young as you think. So all caps is not screaming to me. You know what I mean? I didn't even know. I was like, who decided that? And so I sent an email, and I was like, oh wow, but no discussion, no, just because it fit into she's black and she's angry. So there was no discussion for me, and I was just like, oh, this is what's happening. Things that I would do around my white friends to make sure that they're comfortable, or not say to them, or, you know, people would say, oh, those things don't happen to you because I'm educated. And I was like, oh no, they do, but I'm not gonna tell you every day, every little microaggression that I face, because then you're gonna get sick of me and I'm sick of it. I said, I learned to endure it, it's part of my life. And so I wrote this play in 4 days, the original script, because I couldn't think of anything to write. I was just so mad at everything else. And I was just like, nobody's listening to us. Nobody's listening to us. And then I got into this mode. I go, just write what the fuck you want to write, because ain't nobody going to produce this shit anyway. That's really what I said to myself. And I was like, ain't nobody going to read it. It's for me. That's okay. I said what I said. I'm getting it out. And so I said what I said was really me saying I said what I said. Because I was like, people ain't gonna like it. Because we had a virtual reading. It was just an invited, so you're the first people who were ever audience to hear this. So I was just like, this is what it is. And I remember I stayed up probably for like maybe 8 to 12 hours straight, just because it was just coming out of me. And I don't feel like it was me, I just felt like it was just a lot of things that were inside of me. And I didn't want to be a victim. I was like, we are not victims, but we need help. We are not strong. We need somebody to hear what we're saying and believe us. I always have to quantify. I'll say something happened to me and people will say, I don't think they really meant it like that. And they weren't even there. And then they start to make me think, well, maybe that was, you know, making me second guess myself. When a white woman can simply say, I feel threatened by this person, and people are like, you need to, you know what I mean? They don't question her. They don't question, you know, she doesn't have to be accountable. She said it, it's truth, take care of it.
Right.
But me, it's like, well, how did they say it? What was happening? You know, what was, you know, it's all of these things. And I was like, I always have to justify. I got to come with receipts. My word about my experience is not enough. And I just basically got tired of it, and I was like, I don't have any more fight in me, God. I really said, I was like, this is all I got. I got this well, not a typewriter, but I got a computer. They know something about me. So I have that, and I can just say what I want to say. That is all I have are my words, and I don't expect anybody to listen to it, but at least I said it. At least it was said. It was given to you. How you accept it is how you accept it. It is not my problem. And so that's where this came out of. And then when we, Moving Arts, Darren was like, I think, what do you think about doing a workshop? I didn't really care for it at first, but I read it again, and I was like, oh, you, okay. Because I was like, okay, that's what you're gonna do. And so it made me revisit some things, and one of the things I was like, I just want to tell our story. This is not bashing anybody. This is not making anybody, this is not in your face. I want people to listen. I want to invite people into what it's really like just on a day-to-day basis. My mother, the things that she has had to endure. My grandmother, who I have never met because she was murdered at 36 years old. And when I tried to research it, there is really nothing in it because back then they didn't put stuff like that in paper. So my family, her 7 children that she left behind at 36, 37 years old, my mother was a mother who had to raise herself at 9 years old until she had me. And people don't realize, I was like, oh my God, all of this affects every little thing, all the laws that you enact, that eats away at you. I have a niece and her hair is beautiful. It's down to her back and she always wants it in a bun. No, I don't want it, I want it in a bun. And I don't know, but I know, I was like, she's going to school and she doesn't want the attention on her hair. She puts, she's like, no, I want a bun. And I was like, I know what that is. I remember getting a Jerry curl. I remember sitting in and having my scalp burned. I remember the smell of the grease. I remember all of that so I could look a certain way on Easter, to have my hair straightened. I remember even when stuff like Beyonce had her baby and she had her hair natural, and people on the internet saying she needs to comb that child's hair, she looks this, and I was like, oh my God. We can't, I don't think people realize just it's like a picking away, it's just a little bit. But after a while, you pick long enough, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. And it's like, I'm not dark enough, I'm not saying, oh, you're educated, so you're this kind of black or you're that kind of black. And the thing about it is, what's even sad when I was listening to this, even though I wrote it, none of the stories are false. None of them are made up, except for the woman, but I imagine there's somebody who's seen their son hung as a slave. So that, but everything else is factual, except for she didn't kill the lady, but that happened. But
I got there.
Yes. We ain't that stupid. She ain't gonna kill no white woman to get no time to be living. She gonna be like, be out. Yes. So ain't nobody that stupid. But yeah, but I just felt like I wanted people to understand, not from I'm a victim or look what happened to me, but just like, look, I like me. I like you. What did I do? I literally asked my mother this 2 weeks ago, something else happened, and it's so funny because I'm like, I'm a grown woman, but I was like, I don't understand why people don't like black people. I was like, we are so fierce and fabulous. We are the culture. We built this country as it is today, literally. And people don't like us.
don't like us. And I was like, I don't know what to do with that because I like everybody. Like, I want everybody to thrive. I want rich white people to thrive. I'm like, keep making that money. You know, I do. I genuinely do. So I don't understand it. That's like the kid in me. I don't understand it because I look at them and I'm like, look how beautiful they are. Look how beautiful we are. Just think about what this country would be if all the people and women, regardless of color, they were allowed to just thrive and do what they do naturally. We spend so much time putting our knees on people's necks. When people are thriving, we figure out a way to that's not working with what the structure. And I'm like, all the contributions that we've made, if we would have just be allowed to just be and thrive, this country would be the great country that everybody markets it to be. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, so that's it. I don't know. The ancestors spoke to me, and I guess they were like, "Girl, you got to tell it." So I say, "Okay."
I love it.
Take this time to open it up to some of you if you would like to share, like, what landed for you, what gave you either an aha moment, or I never that's a different perspective, I never had that perspective, or man, I never even knew that, or I wonder if this has really happened to somebody. Like, there could be a mirage of questions that came into your mind, but I would be very honored and touched to hear if any of you would like to share, like, what was that moment for you?
For me, it was amazing. She touched a lot in me. And I'm so sorry that we as Black women, mothers, Black people have to endure this. And you guys were all phenomenal. You really moved me. I cried. I laughed. And I remembered something. So, thank you. You did. It was great. It was amazing. Thank you.
Well, I see my mama took her mask off, so I'm gonna put my mama first, and then I'll get to you.
Well, I've been around for a bit. This whole thing, this thing we're doing, really hit. Going to school in the South, working in corporate offices in the East and in the Midwest. And the subtleties that you get. Oh, well, actually, you can't do this only because even though she has the same type of job that she used to have, was similar to yours, she had an education. Turns out the child didn't get the degree. She lied on the application. But had that been me, I'd been out the front door. Or you have a manager that calls you honey, sweet, sugar high, and my mother was very concerned that I probably would not make 20 because I had a habit of saying, okay, look, you can call me Paulette, you can call me Miss Clark, you can even call me PC, but I am not honey, sugar, sweet pie, or whatever else. And these things do eat at you, and so I had like an inner self, and some of the white people that I would come in contact with, or in the office, or whatever the case may be, thought they knew me, but they never really saw the real me. And that's hard. So in raising my daughter and being around my grandkids, she always has to remind, why are the women in our family have to be so strong? Why do we have to do this? Why can't I just go out in the backyard and scream? I said, well, fine, I said, you go ahead and do that. So it's what you did affected me because it was so many areas that it hit in my life. Some she probably doesn't remember or know. But it's a good thing. And I thank you for that. It does bring back some really hard memories, some that I have to deal with. But it's out there. And we do need this generation, whether it's the millennials or the XYG, whatever they call it. You know, to remind them, because sometimes they come in and even the language that they have, you know, it's, in my lifetime, the word nigga, you better make sure that you're not in the dark, you know, because I was called that several times, many times, but sometimes nowadays it's like a slang. Where in the devil did that come from? Yeah. And so I think it is up to us to say you need to go get your history book from the Black history, not the history book you got to school. Because that word and that term is not slang. And know who you are and where you came from. Sorry.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you. Such a beautiful piece. Each one of you were just amazing. Marlow, you did your thing, girl. But you know what? For me as a black man, I have constantly through this, thinking about my grandmother, my mother, my wife, my daughters, my sister, and it just gave me a different perspective. I have a tendency of, you know, of just kind of bulldozing through something when it happens, and I have a tendency, if like my daughters or my wife or someone would come to me, it's like, you know, get over it, you know, you got to push through it. And so it made me, it's really has me thinking of being a little more, just listening more and understanding more. And it's definitely something that needs to be heard more. And even though, I mean, I'm very concerned about our portrayal as black people, and you know, I'm going to throw something out there. I have an issue with a lot of these shows that are on TV and how we get trapped into being portrayed a certain way. And you know the shows I'm talking about, probably. And so I feel like this is a show that needs to be seen and heard to combat or fight the opposite of how our black women are portrayed. And anyway, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you know I love you. For me, it was like I've experienced all of that, and not necessarily with me, but my grandmother. I took care of my grandmother, so I heard her side, and then of course what I experienced, and then my girls growing up, and they laugh at us because we said we did that, and the wig goes on, or the piece goes on, and it's like, we should be accepted for who we are. Why do we have to do it? I was in the Air Force for 20 years. And when I went in, everybody just about had their hair straight. Because when they did finally accept afros, it could only be so far out. And then they eventually accepted the braids. And it's like, why can't we just be us? You know, and I believed in my era coming up. All you saw on TV was white women, long, pretty hair, or models in the books. And it was like we were being, how would I say it, programmed that we should look like that in order to feel good. To love ourselves, or that anybody else would love us. And I got a divorce, and my ex-husband, he walked that line between being insane and being a genius. And he wrote a book to my kids, all my kids. And he said that my grandmother, my mother, and I were man-haters. And for the longest, I couldn't understand what he meant by that. But then the light shined. It was because we were very strong. And we didn't have to depend on a guy. We could take the ball and run with it ourselves. And maybe because the white women in the beginning, they didn't really have rights. They were like property also, but they were better than the slaves. So I feel that he probably felt we should have been that way. But we can't. We have so many things going on in life. And if you give up, where do you go? You gotta learn to hold it in. Because you don't want to let it out. Because if you let it out, you're fired. I did the same thing you did. I didn't realize that I typed the letter in all caps. And the next thing I knew, it was like, that's not how you do that. That's like you're screaming at it. Yeah, I wasn't trying to scream at the person. I just was typing in all caps. So as we get older, we learn things and we go with the flow. But we always have to believe in ourselves. Yes. We always have to love ourselves first. And that's what this did. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what? The writing is very powerful, and it needs to be heard. It really needs to be heard. Nothing against you ladies, because you're all amazing. It's a workshop, it's this, it's that. But I'm excited about coming back and hearing it straight through. No books, because there's so much strength in there. And, you know, little distractions. You go, no, I just want to hear it from top to bottom, straight through. It's going to just rip through your body. I mean, obviously, I've not lived anything like that. I'm a gay man, but I've never experienced anything like that. I'm a white gay man, and that probably helped a little, you know? But it's just absolutely helpful, and it needs to be heard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Get people to donate to the theater so that we can produce it.
There you go.
Thank you. Bernadette, I wanted to say we have a live stream going, so people are hearing this and there's.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still going, so somebody up here just wanted to say.
I didn't even know. What?
Pepper Ann 50 said what resonated for me was the monologue about the Crown Act, that we don't need permission to wear our hair in its natural state. Our hair is not illegal. It was a real aha moment. So,
awesome.
From out in the ether out there.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. I appreciate those that shared. Have a great rest of your Sunday and support theater.
This one right here.